Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews, you can find our band reviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I went to go see that Strawberry Girls tour. I'll be posting Night versus set along with our homies in Sauce. I got their set as well, so definitely be on the lookout for those. I'll also be seeing Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and Rivals this upcoming weekend, so if you'd like me to get footage of that, let me know. But otherwise, I'm just probably gonna go to enjoy it. Otherwise, I'll probably be doing interviews as well there, as well as this album I'm doing along with the home team's new record, Better Off. So make sure to be looking forward to those two great pop punk bands that I think are really awesome. But tonight I'm going to be talking about Trash Boat's newest record, Crown Shyness. So for those of you who haven't heard of this band, they are a band from the UK. They are signed to Hopeless Records. They put out a amazing record, their first record, first full-length record on Hopeless, called Nothing I Write Can Change What You've Been Through. That was released in 2016. If you'd like me to review that, I would love to do that. I might throw it up on their Rewind episodes. They took a little bit of a hiatus for now, but I'm hoping to bring those back. But this band is really sick. They combine a lot of elements of punk, pop punk, obviously, hardcore, just a really good hodgepodge of different genres. And if you haven't heard of them, please go check them out. They are also on Warped Tour all summer long, so make sure to go see them if they come to your city. But I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on them, go through some pros and cons, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Inside Out. This is one of the singles that they had released. I know it's up on their Bandcamp, but I don't know if they released an actual single as in terms of iTunes. But this one really gets you right into the song. The introduction has a lot of great energy. I love this sort of clapping and drumming part in that introduction. I thought that was really awesome. The vocals definitely have this awesome grit to them, courtesy of Toby, their vocalist. He kind of borderline screams at certain points throughout the track, notably in their sort of hardcore vibes of what they do, and a lot of the tracks kind of do that as well, have that sort of more gritty aesthetic to their vocals, and I think that is underused in this genre of music, so I definitely appreciate it. The instrumentals have that sort of punk or punk rock sort of vibe from them. The bridge is my favorite part of the track. It has some really nice aggression to it, and I think it's a great opener track. It really has some awesome energy to it, and you know, it's nothing that I don't expect anything less from this band. I think they really bring the energy in this track, and we'll move it on to track number 2, which is Shade. This one was another single. I believe this was the first single that they had released, and it's one of my favorites. The instrumental give me that sort of Silverstein vibe. Even the clean vocals that Toby does also has a sort of Shane Told essence to them. Even a little bit of Rise Against. I know that they notably said that they are one of their influences, so you can hear that sort of Rise Against feel to it. The first verse has this sort of punk leaning to it, and I love how catchy the chorus is, obviously playing more off of their pop punk roots. The drumming in the second verse is awesome. I think that is very underappreciated for sure. There are some tracks that I really thought the drumming really stood out to, and I would say definitely without a doubt in this track it has that sort of great drumming appeal to it. Toby's vocals are on point as always. I love his cleans and just the great screams that he adds in certain parts. I also love how he kind of doesn't just use it to use it. He kind of uses it as more of an emotional tool to kind of get out that more frustration, that more aggravation and stuff, so I appreciate that. But this track really has a great blend of melodicness, and it has some awesome heaviness to go along with it as well. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Nothing New. This one is another one of my favorites. This one draws more from their pop punk roots. The song has an awesome groove to it as well, focuses more on Toby's just overall clean singing, and the range that he's able to go through in this track is really awesome. I think he utilizes it very well, and I think he's got a great range as well. The leads are a bit more apparent in this track, which adds a nice bit of texture to the song, which is always nice. I think that leads really kind of, especially since they have 2 guitar players, it's really nice when they have those sort of leady parts in there. Liking the aggressive switch up in the sort of bridge and ending portion of the track. It really kind of cuts the chase. It really gets that real great energy to it, and keeping the sort of vibe of the album going. So we're moving to track number 4. I don't know why I did 3, but it is 4, and this one is called Old Soul. This one is the most recent single that they released, and it starts off slower, but I like how it kind of builds, it snowballs a little bit, and it progresses as the song goes on. The emotional aspect of the song definitely builds in correlation with Toby's vocals, which is always nice. It starts off kind of slow, and there's maybe a little bit less grit, but as the song kind of snowballs, like I said earlier, the grit kind of comes out, and that's always a nice approach. And then he just adds this really great screaming part towards the end of the track. It really kind of hits with a little bit more backing to it, which I think that a lot of bands don't really focus on, but I think that Trash Boat does it phenomenal. The slower parts, it's definitely got some of the slowest parts on the record in terms of just instrumental music, maybe excluding Crown Shyness, which is pretty much an acoustic track. I think this one also has some of that sort of part, but also borrows a lot from melodic hardcore. You can kind of hear that sort of vibe to this track in particular, and I just like how they really kind of take aspects of that sort of genre, melodic hardcore and just hardcore in general. I think that is really awesome. So we're going to move into track number 5, which is Controlled Burn. This one is my absolute favorite off the record. This one is an absolute banger. It really borrows, like I said, a lot from hardcore, and you can definitely hear it in this track. It is very hardcore fronted, but it has that catchiness of pop punk that I love. The chorus is absolutely killer. I think it's one of my favorite choruses off the record, maybe excluding another track, which I'll be talking about a little bit later. But overall, I love the chorus in this one. It brings a lot of great high energy after the track of Old Soul, which I felt like it did have those sort of heavier melodic hardcore vibes, but this one's just like in your face punk hardcore, all that sort of stuff. Really great. It has some awesome breakdowns at the 1 minute and 50 seconds to around the 2 minutes and 2 second mark, and as well as the 2 minutes and 45 second mark to the 2 minutes and 56 second mark. And there's also another part towards the end of the track, probably kind of closing it out, but I feel like this combines a lot of my favorite aspects of Trash Boat. It has those sort of heavier moments, but it also has those really great chorusy hooks that you know and love. It has that balance of heaviness and catchiness that I think overall make a track like this shine and kind of come out of the sort of dirt. I wouldn't say that the other tracks are dirt, but it just feels like this one is an absolute gem that I feel like a lot of you will love. So we're going to move it into track number 6, which is Don't Open Your Eyes. This one is another favorite of mine, which might come as a surprise to you if you have listened to this record. It's kind of a more straightforward track. It borrows a little bit from Like Pacific, another great pop punk band from Canada. I know that Trash Boat is from the UK. I was just making an inference, but otherwise I really love this track. It has some really catchy moments, and it has some awesome hooks, but like I said, it's very straightforward, but I think it's executed very well. And after this sort of just chaoticness of Controlled Burn. This is a nice kind of payoff, little bit more reserved, which is nice. It plays more with their melodic side, and you can especially hear that in the bridge of this track. So we're gonna move into track number 7, which is the title track, Crown Shyness. This one is another one of my favorites, and despite it being an acoustic track, I think it fits very well in the scheme of the entire record. Toby's range is really awesome in this track. I think that he really kind of does those sort of softer, tenderer moments, and then he's got a little bit of grit that really has that, just that emotional pull, and it just shows off how diverse he is as a vocalist. You can hear more of the subtleness in his voice, especially towards the beginning of the track. You can really hear those just really great, beautiful melodic lines that he does in the beginning of the song. The lyrics definitely hit home for me, just on a personal level. I think that I've been dealing with a lot of depressionary sort of stuff, so I think that this track definitely, hit me in that core, and that might be the reason why it's one of my favorites, but it just really fits with the whole motif of the record, and just, lyrically, where it's going, and also probably just the fact that it's solo acoustic guitar and vocals. I think you get a little bit more of that, emotional energy out of the track. The violin is a really nice addition to this track, obviously being a slower, sort of softer track. It is utilized very well in conjunction with the acoustic guitar. I think it works out beautifully, nonetheless. So we're gonna move into track number 8, which is Silence. This one has a sort of big, sort of huge vibe to it in the beginning of the track. It sounds really awesome. It still sounds like really anthematic, which is awesome. The song is very similar to Inside Out. It has that sort of vibe to it as well, playing along with their sort of punk rock roots. The chorus in this track is really, really, really catchy, and the ending is really awesome as well. There's this piano, sort of bass-driven exit of this song that I think is really awesome. Again, nothing too much to stick out with, but I think it's a solidly written song. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Undermine. This one is one of my favorites as well, because this track just absolutely grooves. The structure is killer. It starts off slower in the sort of intro and first verse, but it brings it back throughout, and kind of blends super well into the track. I think they do it at sort of the pre-chorus of the chorus of this song, as well as kind of the tail end of the chorus, and then kind of leads into the second verse. I think that is really awesome, and it just shows there's just songwriting skills in the way that they're able to take a riff that was at the beginning and kind of meld it into the next part of the song, which is always cool. This one has the most sort of pop punk feel to it, I would say, and it's a great track from start to finish, obviously being one of my favorite tracks off the record. So we're gonna move into the last one, track number 10, which is Love, Hate, React, Relate, and this one is really cool. I think just in comparison to the grand scheme of this record, I think it ends off the record really nicely. It's definitely the black sheep of the record. It starts off more melodic. You can hear like cello, you can hear violins, you can hear sort of more orchestral pieces in this song. It has definitely some of the softest vibes, maybe, along with Crown Shyness, and maybe sort of a little bit of old soul in that regard, but it starts to get more aggressive, especially towards the latter half of the track. It just ends off on a really powerful note. Just the way that Toby kind of does those screams just by himself at the end of the track really kind of just hits that core human, that you just feel those emotions, and it's really interesting how they do that. I think they really combine a lot of elements of this entire record. They have some softer moments, they have a little bit of that heaviness that you got from like Controlled Burn, and sort of, the heavier tracks like also maybe like Shade, Nothing New, those sort of more punk rock based tracks, or even like hardcore stuff that they borrow from. You can really hear that in this last portion of the track. I wouldn't say it's quite my favorite, but I definitely would consider it one of the better of the tracks off this record. So some pros and cons. I like how textured it is. There's really kind of a mixed bag of everything that and that kind of plays into the variety of the record. There's everything from, you know, punk to hardcore in this record, and I really appreciate that. And then they have some really, you know, inventive tracks like Love, Hate, React, Relate. Undermine was phenomenal. Crown Shyness is another one, and Control Burn is just probably the best track off the record. It just works with their whole motif. I think that they really kind of elevated their sound from the first record to this one, and they've done everything that they could to make this one the best that they've done, and I would care to disagree that it is their best work to date, without a doubt. It really kind of combines more of their hardcore roots, but also branches into new territory, which is always appreciated as somebody who does reviews. I always appreciate that when I can, you know, hear the kind of growth and the maturity of a band, from the first record to the newest record, which happens to be this one. Like I said, they're out on Warped Tour, so go check them out. But my overall rating for Trash Boat's Crown Shyness, I'm going to be giving it a 9.7 out of 10. This is one of the best underrated punk bands, pop punk bands, whatever you want to call them, in the scene at the moment. Probably up there with Like Pacific. Like Trash Boat and Like Pacific are pretty close. Maybe Like Pacific gets a little bit more of an edge because I've been a fan for a little bit longer, but overall, really underrated band, and I felt like I needed to do this review because I need to give these guys some love. So definitely go check out Trash Boat if you are going to Warped Tour and you live in the States. If not, I'm sure that they'll do plenty of touring. Go pick this one up. It is all on Hopeless this Friday, the 20th, so definitely go pick it up. I highly doubt you'll regret it, especially if you're into more of that edgier pop punk or punk music. You'll definitely love this record. I know I love it. I'll be jamming this shit for a very long time, and I'm super stoked. So let me know in the comments what you think about this record, if you picked it up early at Warped Tour, and what are some of your favorite tracks. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Phenomenal record, and I'm so excited for new stuff and hopefully another full US tour. Who knows what the future holds, but if it does happen, you'll know I'll be there for sure. So thank you guys for watching this review. If you liked it, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share it. It goes a long way. Plenty of new content and to come, and hopefully you guys will check it out. I'm really stoked on what's going to be happening in the future, which I'll be disclosing a little bit more in maybe future videos. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.